The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Well, here it is, a beautiful Thursday morning in Oxnard, California, at the corner of Ventura and Vineyard. And it is day number 3 of Cowboy practices. So much has transpired the last 48 hours. Bill Jones, the 6-time Pro Bowler Nate Newton, and a bundled up Mickey Spagnola, who's still trying to get used to the climbs out here. It's actually, the sun's breaking through the marine layer right now.
Wow. But when I rode my bike in, it was cold. Yes.
So
Mickey,
it went from the sun is breaking through the clouds to now we got the marine.
The marine layer.
Oh,
That's his
wow.
cloud cover.
What? Hey, Bill, you can adjust very quickly.
Well, this morning was the first day that it wasn't totally overcast. When I woke up at 6, there was actually some blue sky out there.
Wow.
And then it got covered up pretty quick.
So I have one question
The
before.
marine
Mick,
layer.
is this a new shirt?
It is. It's for training camp.
Yeah,
Right
I
there.
can tell because you won't take the tag off.
So here's what I did.
What he did was
I just got it. There was another tag, and I
Look, boy.
tagged it inside, right?
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
running out of time.
Okay, all right.
You just take it from the pro shop up there?
No, they just gave it
Okay.
to me in the tent.
Okay.
Swag bag.
All right. Very good. And so you're all warm.
I am. I
Ready to
feel
go.
good.
All right. We got much to get to because we've actually been able to watch football players on a football field, a couple of football fields behind us here.
For 2 days.
The last couple of days. And they got a practice today and no practice tomorrow. A practice on Saturday, another ramp up, the final of the ramp up practices. There's 4 of those. And then they put on the pads on Sunday. Nate, you're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Yes, sir. So that's that we crossed one hurdle, and that's starting training camp. Second hurdle is the pads. And then the fourth hurdle is the third hurdle is the Rams, and the fourth is the preseason.
And
so
that
I'm
Rams
excited.
intra-squad practice
Yes.
will be coming up a week from Tuesday. So it's on down the road.
Is
So
it August 4th? Is that?
the
fifth?
5th.
The
is
5th.
The day after I
Okay.
leave here.
Oh!
So, but you two will be here.
What if we won't let you go?
What do you remember most from the Rams practice last year?
You asking me?
Either
They
one.
beat us up not once,
I remember
but twice.
Jared Verse.
Yes.
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 That's
Yes.
what I remember.
I
And you
remember
know what?
Yes.
We were right about him, too.
Yes, sir.
Didn't he make all rookie team or
That's
whatever?
going to be the matchup of this training camp, just like it was the matchup of last training camp, and we'll see what strides the left tackle has made this
That's
year.
right.
And I talked to yesterday. He came to me on the field during practice.
Oh, really?
They had a
Now,
break.
Who are you speaking of?
And I was speaking to the left guard.
Okay,
he
Tyler
called-
Smith.
Tyler Smith said, "Hey Nate, what's up, man? Good to see you." And I shook his hand. And then as I was walking away, this other big hand grabbed me. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I looked up and it was
Number 60.
Tyler
Guyton.
Guyton. And I said, "What's up, Tyler?" He said, "What's up, man?" He said, "I've heard everything you said on your podcast." And I listened to it. I said, "Okay." Because I'm like, I'm blowing up. Like, if this big dude.
I might have trouble on my hands.
I'm like, hey, ain't as young as I used to
Trying
be.
to remember what you've said.
Yeah. Well, I know what I've said
Okay.
over the time. And he said, you're right. He said, I have all the time. I said, what did I say? He said, well, you say I have all the athletic ability in the world, but I need reps. And as the season went on, I lost confidence. He said, you're right. And I've been working on that. He said, but most of all, he looked me right in my eyes. He said, most of all, man, come out here and help me out to practice. And I just told him, I say, sir, son, you don't need a lot of practice with me. Just remember this right here. You have athletic ability, and the only move that got you with consistency was the inside move. When a guy's at a 7 technique, that's mean if a guy over you, that's a 5. Right outside your eyes, a tight 5. Outside of that is the 6, but we don't say a 6. We say 7. And then if they're outside of that, don't worry about it. this guy got to come to you because the quarterback, you standing between him and the quarterback. That's called positional leverage. So all you have to do is just take a half a step out and make him go outside, and he can't do anything from out there because you're long enough in your arm to run him around. But if a guy's in a tight 5, set strong a little bit to the inside, and then as he go out, then you can push him out. You got arms. Use them. And so I think with working out with Tyler and getting his strength up, working with the new offensive line coach, the guy from we got him from Phoenix. He's supposed to be a master at it. I can't get his name.
Clayton Adams from the Cardinals, but Connor Riley, the offensive line
coach. He's
coach.
Supposed to be a guru, kind of like Mr. Callahan. Was it Callahan we had?
Bill Callahan.
Yeah, I loved him, man. He just had dreams of being offensive coordinator.
Probably the most respected offensive line coach
he's
in the
number
league.
one, second only Hud and Tony Wise.
Active one.
Yeah. But he caught me totally off guard and put me in a position where I had to right there just go into coaching mode. And it's just fortunate. Yesterday we was talking about this. I don't know if it was on air or off air, where we misjudged this kid. Bill, you brought it up to me last year. Nate, this kid has not played more than 18 games of
8 games,
of college football
in a season,
in a season. So he needs experience, and he still needs experience. But the only way he can get that experience is to stay healthy and stay mentally strong and work his techniques.
Did he listen to you?
Yeah. I mean, he was every time I looked up, because I'm trying to work and recall what I need to tell him, and every time I looked up, he was looking right at me. The thing I think about him is he talks to himself. Sometimes you just got to be quiet, because when I'm talking to him, he's continually talking. Sometimes you just got to be quiet and listen. Let it sink in, and then, pick your PowerPoints and go from there. So I think he wants to be successful. But like you say,
that's what I've been impressed with him. He's a hard worker. He wants it.
Yes.
And it's just a matter he's got to put in the time and get the reps and everything in order.
Health is the key. Availability is the number one thing in this league.
Because you know what happens with young guys when somebody your age starts telling them stuff, they start rolling their eyes like their parent, right? And they don't listen.
Right.
And I've seen that happen. I've seen, you probably more specific trying to teach them stuff than when I see Charles Haley's here.
Well, Charles will make you roll your eyes because you got to decipher not only his animation but the words that he's using. I mean, when you getting called a SB and a MF, and you got to say, dude, this guy really likes me.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear because if he takes the next step, this offensive line's going to be good.
Yes.
And here's the other thing I saw yesterday, by the way. They were giving Awesome Richards a few reps with the first group.
They got to. Going back to what we talked about the other day, fellas, is position battles. They have to make this a position battle. You cannot go and let Awesome Richards not have an opportunity to compete, because if you do, I don't know when his contract come up, but this kid, we'll look over and this kid will be playing for somebody else for another 10 years.
Well, he's in his third season, right? And so
fifth round draft pick 2 years ago, so he's got 2 years left.
Yeah, and
we got next year.
He would be restricted next year, right?
No, he
gets 4 years.
As a fifth rounder, he'll be.
He gets 4.
He's got a 4 year.
Yeah. So, my thing is this: is one thing I admire about Pete Carroll, I admired about Jimmy Johnson and Coach Parcells is if they saw a guy that, okay, we didn't draft him, but we still signed him, and we still saw something in him. A coach or a scout stood on the table for this guy, at this position in this pick. You have to give equal cadence, especially after a year. You have to give equal opportunity, and if this guy gives you that chance to be a better team, know that as a coach or as a scout, and
sort of
I'm
like
not saying,
yourself, right?
Yes, I'm not saying Austin Richards going to beat this kid out.
No, but at least he has to be ready to be the swing tackle.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that's an important position because those tackles aren't going to go through the season. What are the percentages that both tackles play 17 games, right?
Yes.
So I like seeing.
Well,
how
last
they
year,
were dealing
Terrence Steele went 17 games, but he's had a knee injury in the past.
Right.
And Tyler Guyton had 15 games played, 11 starts.
Right.
Last year. So out of your tackle position, there were 6 starts that were made by someone else.
Yes.
And also
And
Richards or Chuma Edoga.
It was Chuma Edoga.
Richards made 1 start last year.
And
Yeah,
somebody,
and then he came back the next game or 2 games and got hurt. I just believe this, and as we talk about them position battles, there's more position battles I think if y'all wanted to we can get into, but it's only 2. To me, it's only 2 position battles that really mean anything because if these things don't work, the team is going to fail. I don't care how good the skill position players are. If the offensive line is not settled, because the offense is going to be what's going to lead this ship, and if the middle of our defense is not settled, I don't care who you put at corners, it's just not going to matter.
So it's left tackle?
Yes.
To be specific. And
Yes.
then,
No, I'm talking about
you're
steal
talking about
too.
Okay.
You
So the
have
tackle
to-
position.
Yes, sir. You have to
Okay.
give my position battle, and we did special editions. I told him the same thing, and I've been preaching this. As much as I love the talent of Guyton, is he going to be mentally strong to conquer his demons? As much as I like Steele and his enthusiasm, are we going to run enough to give him a chance? If we run, say 47% of the time, almost 50% of the time, Steele is a different player. Mm-hmm. But if we pass 65% of the time, he's going to get exposed. That is just the bottom line and how it's going to go. So I hear what Coach's saying, but we got to see it to believe it. And this is where Austin Richards has a chance to have an impact.
And that second position, defensive tackle.
I purposely don't bring this guy's name up because I have a new mantra this year. I'm not going to attack players. I'm through attacking guys and, he's not this. Mozzie has to show. And I'm not going one way or another. When he show, I'm going to talk big, and I'm gonna give him his props. But as long as he's just gonna be this average guy, it's not worth talking about. But they got another kid, this old man I saw running up and down the field yesterday from Texas, from Capel. What is his name? Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas. He's
This
a
dude looked like
cowboy.
a baby Hulk, bro.
That's
I mean, this
exactly
dude
right.
got calves like a sprinter.
He's an old man. He's 29 years old.
Bro,
Come
he's
on,
a
man.
beast. I mean, and I know they don't have on pads. Let me reiterate that, Mick. They do not have on pads.
but he's still a beast.
He is running.
There's a reason
with
he
the
was the
youngsters.
third pick of the draft.
Yeah, bruh. Hey, when he walked past me, I said, who is this guy with all these arms?
And if anybody needs to know anything about Solomon Thomas, Tommy Yarish did a really good story on him and his foundation on mental health. I mean, it was fantastic, and I told Tommy, boy, you
He needed to run a mental health department with the bombs like that, bro.
Well,
He
you
hit
know
somebody
what?
up in the head.
Here's how
Yeah.
bad I was. When we taped that show, the training camp spotlight, they did a segment where they were putting a puzzle of guys together, like a part of a face or a part of a body, and we had to guess who it was. And I was going, I spent the off season trying to memorize numbers, not
Right.
faces, right?
Right.
Well, the one I really screwed up on was the first piece of the puzzle was this big old arm, bicep, and I said Toya. I figured it was a 342-pound guy.
Right.
No, it was Solomon Thomas, and I should have known better, right?
Who, by the way, is listed at 6'3", 295.
See, I don't know if they look at him as the 3 technique or the nose, but I bet he can do a little of both.
I tell you what, me Hulk, I know that. You ever seen the Hulk?
Yep.
Yeah, that's this dude. I am so, everybody knows me. Y'all know me. I do not begrudge these players nothing in how we do things now in this modern day NFL. But I do get upset when I stand on the sideline And player for player, pound for pound, these guys were built better than us. better than the old players. I mean, we had like eight or nine just fat, chubby guys. I'm looking for a fat, chubby guy on the Cowboys.
So how many personal trainers did you have back in the 80s?
Well,
and
I had a
90s?
personal trainer, but he used to call it the fat farm. Because I used to go lose weight. But I'm excited,
year.
man. Every year, man. Where's Nate?
One of the things on Solomon Thomas, when you talk about him, he was a first-round draft pick out of Stanford in 2017.
Stanford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
smart kid.
Smart guy, too. And
Back when you had to have grades,
I
right?
mean, just a stud. He had a personal tragedy in his life. His sister Ella took her own life. This was in 2018, his second year. And you can imagine what he was going through from a mental standpoint early in his career, dealing with that on top of transitioning into the NFL. Aaron Whitecotton, the defensive line coach, had him at San Francisco, and then he had him with the Jets. And I guarantee you, in fact, I've got my son-in-law's parents are good friends with his parents in Coppell, and I texted them. I said, "I bet you Cowboys are going to sign Solomon Thomas, and they're going to sign Solomon." And sure enough, Whitecotton, it was a priority to get him here because, and it's not just because of his playing ability, but his whole character and what he is, everything about him. He fits in perfectly to the culture that they're building here.
And I think on top of that, I think this Aaron Cotton's the real deal as a defensive line coach. And you can take this for what it's worth. You remember when they did the Veterans Day, they brought back the old players and a bunch of guys showed up. And I was talking.
They were called legends.
Legends.
You can stop with
Did I say old players?
Yeah, Lord Jesus.
I said veterans.
Yeah, okay.
Legends.
Legends,
Veteran.
It was Legends
Yes.
Day.
Veterans we kind of put to the military.
I was talking to Larry Cole.
Okay.
Right? And he played with the Cowboys, would have been late 60s during the 70s, right?
Always had a fumble return for a touchdown on Thanksgiving Day, Larry
Right.
Cole did.
And he made the tackle in the Redskins game, the last game of the year when they came back in
Yep.
79
John
to
Riggins.
win. He tackled Riggins
Yep.
to force a punt. But anyway, so I'm talking with him. I
He
said,
would have been, now he was a veteran guy then. He would have been like 38 years old at
he
least
was
by then.
By then, right? And he said, he goes, that assistant line coach, the defensive line coach. I said, Whitecotton. He goes, yeah. He goes, you know who he reminds me of? Ernie Stautner. And I'm going, well, that's quite a compliment because Stautner is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a player, but he did
Probably
coach for the Cowboys
if they put assistant
forever.
coach, if they put assistant coaches in the Hall of Fame, he might be in the Hall of Fame as an assistant coach.
Actually,
too.
you know what? They have a plaque somewhere, and it's assistant coaches since whatever year, and it was more current, right? That they're in on that plaque as they're not Hall of Famers, but they're in on that plaque. And Ernie Zampese, his name was on there.
You know, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you can get your name on one of those walls in the Hall of Fame, guess what? You're in the Hall of Fame. That's right. You may not have
That's
a
right.
bus.
Well, you're there.
Yeah, several times. Several times.
Several times.
Yes, sir.
And Mickey was in the Hall of Fame this summer.
Yes,
A
I
couple weeks
was.
ago, you were in the
I was
Hall of Fame,
taking
weren't you?
pictures.
There you go. But
took a
it's your
tour.
name.
And you know the other thing that
Is your name.
oh,
Is-
hell no.
All right.
No, if you want to, nominate me.
Okay, I will.
All right. On that note, let's take a break and let's talk defensive side of the football and who has caught Mickey's eye when we
Mick's
come back
eye.
here on Mick Shots.
Mick's eye.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
And on that note, Everson Walls will be returning to the show here in a couple of weeks.
And he'll make sure he clears his throat before he starts reading a read.
All right, what are your impressions first couple of days? What sticks out?
You know what? The speed of the practice.
The speed of the coaches after every play.
Yes. I mean, there's no downtime. They run a play, and they're back in the huddle ready to get another play. And I don't know if Schottenheimer, it's helping him, like, speed up his play calls. But I noticed the one thing is, like, if it's a deep pass down the field, they don't wait for those receivers to come back. They put in two new ones. If if it's the first team, Pickens and CD are out, and they put two ones in, and boy, they're ready to go. And when they get to the line of scrimmage, they're snapping the ball quickly. Now, there'll be a few times when Dak makes an adjustment, but the majority, it's go. It's not standing up and giving all these signals like they're a third base coach.
Yes.
And they're snapping the ball and going. So from just that, I like the rhythm of how they're trying to play and how much because when you're doing that, you get more plays in during your allotted time, right?
That's right.
And it's hard to say, well, this guy or that guy, because they don't have the pads on. But the thing that is continuing from training camp is the ability of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens to get open, and I think there's really something special that's about to happen with those two guys with this offense.
So was it offense or defense you want to
Whichever way you want to go.
I don't know, Bill or Mickey, if this happened a lot last year, as early as it happened in these last two practices. Our defense is getting a lot of interceptions. Every time you turn around, they're picking the ball off. Whether
they're
it's
knocking the ball out.
Are they knocking the ball out? So whereas they didn't want a lot of that last year, that is allowed this year to knock the ball out. And they're getting interceptions. They're getting and the defense are really, really rallying pretty hard. And I wonder now. We've asked for this the last few years, speed of practice. I wonder how long can they maintain this. This is the this will be the third day, right?
And then they get a day off.
Yeah, they're going to need a day off.
Well, what
Yeah.
Schottenheimer said yesterday about the first practice, it was about the conditioning.
Yes.
He was like the first day practice, he wasn't he didn't like the conditioning as well as what it should have been, championship level conditioning, and so he was going to work them harder, and then so we'll see.
Well, it's almost if you're calling the plays and getting the plays in that quickly, that's part of the conditioning, right? Because you don't have much time to rest between plays. It's almost like being in the game when what do you got, a 40-second clock or whatever? You got to go, and that's the way they're practicing right now.
It's fast, and like I say, they'll need Friday off, and a lot of young guys, they're gonna move around a lot, but not with the same enthusiasm. They've been concentrating, and it don't seem like there's a lot of blown plays overall. That maybe at that wide receiver position, because like I say, I've seen a few interceptions, a few knockdowns, a few fumbles. So that's where the fatigue come in when you let guys knock the ball out of your hand when you're careless with it and stuff like that.
And Bill made a point about the coaching staff, the enthusiasm and the energy is awfully high still that we saw in the offseason.
You know what's higher than that? And what you call him, Producer Supreme,
Chris Beam.
He was like, he was filming. He said he can't even hear himself filming. The music be so loud.
That's right. The music is loud. Which I mean, you think about it. When they play football games, it's loud in that stadium, right?
Yeah, but you do want to coach a little bit.
Now, what they will do in the walkthrough,
right.
and which we aren't supposed to be able to watch.
Yeah.
They get a lot of that.
Yeah, but more importantly, they don't want you to film it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's more importantly. They don't want you to film it.
They're not blaring the music during the walkthrough.
No,
there's more teaching going on.
That's where.
Yeah.
So you're trying to simulate more of a game type condition during the regular practice.
That reminds me when we were in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome when Parcells was there, and Rowdy was just getting the crowd all fired up, and this was before they started playing music. And Parcells said the coaches couldn't even teach because there was so much noise. And he finally called somebody up and goes, "Who is that guy? And tell him to quit."
All those were the days.
He got on Rowdy.
Okay, and so speaking of those interceptions, Marshawn Nealon had one, dropped out into the flat and picked off Dak on Tuesday. Then yesterday, Kaiir Elam had an interception. I thought one thing that was interesting, that towards the end of practice, after Dak was done with his reps, he went over to the defensive sideline, and he was chopping it up with Kaiir Elam on the sideline. And I don't know that it was necessarily just, some sort of fun and games. He was trying to find out, I think, from Kaiir what he saw on the play.
What he saw.
And so.
And the scare they had yesterday was George Pickens made a really good catch on the sideline. They ruled him out of bounds, and he ended up laying on the ground, and you're going, oh, are you kidding me? And then it ended up being a cramp. Yeah. And
I think Donovan Wilson is the one who broke that up or forced him out of bounds.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, you talk about knocking the ball out. Donovan Wilson been doing a whole bunch of that here in the early days at camp.
Yeah, the thing that I like mostly about this defense, and I have discussions with people is off camera, is that people don't understand this year here, the new defensive coordinator runs the whole thing. It's not one coach running the defensive backfield, another coach running the linebackers, and another coach running the defensive line. We have a defensive coordinator, and his name is
Matt Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus, and he is the defensive coordinator. He tells his assistants what to do. He coordinates this thing, and they all go out and transfer the information and what their responsibilities is to the players, and that is how you do it. Last year, we had too many different talking heads, and it hurt this defense as a whole. Yes, we had a lot of injuries, but when you play in a chaotic manner and there's no order to that chaos, it cannot win. I don't know if you can have orderly chaos anyway, but it did not work last year. It should work earlier and better this year.
Mickey, anybody on defense that sticks out to you through 2 days without pads on?
Well, I thought it was interesting when Schottenheimer talked about Kenneth Murray, another guy that was a former first-round draft choice out of Oklahoma, right?
Right.
Where
he wore the number 9.
9?
That's where the K9 nickname
I thought it was
came
part
from.
of 59, right?
K9? That's probably why he chose 59 here, because 9 is taken.
Well, I was thinking it was either that or he's a dog and it's K9. K9, right? Anyway, he's wearing the green dot. Schottenheimer pointed that out. So they're sending the calls in to your outside linebacker, not necessarily the middle linebacker they normally do. And someone asked him about him and his play, and Schottenheimer said,
that was me. I asked him.
You asked the question, and you got he's a grown-ass man. And you know what? He led Tennessee last year in tackles, 95. And he played, he missed, I think, 3 games. He played 14 games. And I've been impressed with him, especially in run fits. And that's what I want out of these linebackers. I saw somebody critique him, and they criticized him for his pass coverage. And I'm going, well, if he's in pass coverage, somebody else needs to be covering that person.
When the Cowboys traded for him, there was the response amongst the people who pay attention to Pro Football Focus and their grades was, why are we trading for this guy? Because he, by Pro Football Focus grades, did not grade well with Tennessee last year.
Now, what is that site?
So that's why you haven't heard any buzz about him. But as Schottenheimer said when I asked him about him yesterday, one of the things, he goes back to when Dallas played played the Chargers 2 years ago. And, they got Khalil Mack. They got Joey Bosa. But as an offensive coordinator, what he was concerned with was number 9, which was Kenneth Murray over there. He's got athleticism that is right there with DeMarvion Overshown. If you go back and look at both of their combine numbers, they're almost identical. And so I think it's interesting that they've got him playing the will here, and his movement skills and his ability to also rush the passer is something that Eberflus has to really like. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he's used here. And it doesn't mean that other linebackers aren't going to get on the field too. Sanborn's playing the middle right now. Maris Leofau is, they've got high hopes for him. And then Overshown, hopefully by Thanksgiving or whenever, will be in the mix too.
Well, if you think about the linebacking core, when you mentioned Murray, Leofau can run. Mm-hmm. And he was a cover guy at Notre Dame, right?
And Murray's a 4.5 guy.
Yeah, so you got a lot of speed at the linebacker spot. Now, I want speed into the hole to stop the run.
Yep, and it's great that we're talking about the linebackers, but fellas, if our defensive line don't do what they're supposed to do, these linebackers would be non-existent. I mean, everything you guys have said has been on point and right on time. But just please.
Not even Sean Lee can make the tackles if he doesn't have any room to operate.
You can't. And a lot will be said for the 15 to 30 plays we're seeing pads come Sunday, But it's just everything is predicated on that front. Even with Mick's deal yesterday when he was saying the battles at corner and safety, all of it's still predicated on what we do up in the front of our.
So do you think we've talked about the defensive tackles? Mm-hmm. What about the defensive ends' ability to play the run and set the edge?
That is what we have to understand. That's what we have to see. Excuse me. We have to see that a lot. One thing that we have been sitting here for the last 15, 20 years. One thing we know is whenever a team wants to really get after the Cowboys, they run the football. When a team say, we don't worry about Parsons. We just gonna run the football, and that is what we have to see this year. Washington's gonna run it. We know what Philadelphia is going to do.
And you've got two teams in your division who have the quarterback run threat too.
And so we have to set the edge. That has to be a priority, almost to the sacrifice of not getting off so quick for the pass. I mean, I am a believer of this, and I watch Parcells do it. I watch Jimmy do it. This one guy kind of can get out of line, and I'm not going to say too much, but he can't get too far out of line. That's Parsons. The other 10 guys, ain't no way in the world you're going to walk on the field and tell me what you saw and mess up my defense. I don't want to hear it. And if Coach Eberflus is doing that, I think everything will be all right. But you have to stop the run. In our division, if we have a chance of beating these guys, even the Giants, we're going to have to stop the run.
All right, we continue with more mixed shots in a moment. Let's talk a little C.D. Lamb, who talked to the media yesterday. When we come back.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal, writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide, because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Back to Mixed Shots.
This summer, step onto the field with the Dallas Cowboys youth football and dance camps presented by Invisalign. Athletes of all skill levels, ages 6 to 16, are invited to learn from former NFL players and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. Campers have the chance to learn technical skills and lessons on teamwork. Visit dallascowboys.com/camps to learn more.
All right, the training camp preview edition of the Cowboys Star magazine is available now. It's got the triplets on the cover. That would be Dak, CD, and Micah. The quadruplets, actually, because Brian Schottenheimer is on the cover, too. There's a Mickey Spagnola article, One Step at a Time, on page 12. While there is still much work to be done, the expectations for the 2025 Dallas Cowboys remain the same. Mickey, win the Super Bowl.
That's the Cowboys, right?
That's
You sound
every
like
team
Tyler
in the
Smith.
league.
It never changes. And that's
Every
what
team
Tyler
in the
Smith
league.
said when he landed here on Sunday afternoon when they asked him what's the goal, and he said win the Super Bowl.
Every year, 32 teams start out in training camp. What's the goal?
And my point is, it doesn't matter if you're coming off a 7-10 season.
Doesn't
the goal
matter.
doesn't change.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
And
It doesn't.
it's difficult. It doesn't matter if you're coming off 4-12 or 12-4 back in the day. It's win the Super Bowl, and it's not easy. And the goal to me is you first got to have a winning season. Then you got a challenge for the NFC East title. You get in the playoffs, and you hope to win a playoff game or two. And then the rest takes care of itself.
Look at the wide receiver room for the Cowboys. How does it rank against the rest of the league?
Oh, I think at this point.
What was C.D. Lamb's response? He smiled. He smiled, and he said, I like us versus anybody.
One of the best, he said. And, they're going to start with the addition of Pickens, 2 number 1 receivers. You don't have to sit here and go, well, how's Pickens going to deal with, because he's not the number 1 receiver. Well, just hold on that, because Pickens is awfully good, and I liked what Schottenheimer said about Pickens. He said if they're in man defense on him, he's open. And that's kind of what we've been seeing here between those 2 guys. And then you can fill in the blank on the third guy, which I think when they go 3 wide, there'll be a rotation there. But I've been impressed with how CD is playing. And by the way, I'm assuming by now the interview, it was a 19-minute interview with CD Lamb yesterday.
The press conference, yeah.
You need to go listen to it. He's all podium.
He didn't waver. Nothing he said.
Right?
How about how he's come along just in terms of his press conferences and stuff in the now 5 years that he's been in the league?
That's the most outspoken I think I've heard him be.
He was great.
Oh, it was. I wrote about it, and I said.
He's been waiting. It's like he's been waiting the whole off season. And coming out of last year, he's like he's been waiting.
Well, he pointed out, because trying to remember who asked the question about, this is your first training camp since 2023. How does it feel to be out here? And he was like, wow, and he goes, and he said, I fooled myself last year when I got back. I thought I'd just pick up and go. And he goes, there was a transition period because I didn't go to training camp.
You got at wide receiver position, you have to be in sync with your quarterback. That time on task, whether it's in camp, whatever, you don't. When did he sign? Like 10 days before the opener, something like that.
Yeah, not much more.
There's not much practice time before the opener, but it's all that time on. Even though he had been with Dak and coming off a season in which Dak finished second in the MVP voting and he had 135 catches to lead the year, you still have to put the work in right now, especially quarterback and receiver, and they're missing that. And for that matter, look at Washington right now. You got a second-year quarterback in Jaden Daniels there, and his top receiver is not in camp right now, Terry McLaurin, because he's in a contract holdout. And if that lasts very long, you just watch Washington and see what happens with that quarterback-receiver relationship. As they'll get him signed, but missing these days of practice could come back to haunt them. And that's basically what CD said. In reflection, in hindsight, looking back last year, he felt like that got him out of sync to start the series.
He said, man, this is amazing. And he said, I was a little oblivious to the truth on what it meant not to be in training camp. And he goes, I have to do the things to his tailoring, meaning to what Dak's expecting, what he needs to do as a wide receiver.
You know what?
And I thought that was really insightful on his part.
I felt that going back to RG3's career, what derailed his career was his knee injury. And then he wasn't able to work the offseason after that or training camp leading up, comes back too soon, basically, and had no relationship with his receivers. And then he had Kirk Cousins waiting in the wings there. And basically, it derailed his career not being able to put that work in.
RG3, man.
Thoughts on the wide receivers?
Man, I like what we're doing. I like that everybody's in place, and y'all know I've always been a CD Lamb fan. Even when things weren't going right this first year and a half, I'm about CD. And so for him to get up, at first I wasn't going to listen, but I had to do an interview with somebody, so I was listening, and I'm like, this is CD.
Yeah.
I mean, this brother got some street cred. But he didn't bring that language and that slang to the street. He brought, English 101 to the table, and it was nice.
And
it was nice.
And I noticed this in the mini camp and the OTAs, how those two guys, they would celebrate. George Pickens makes a big play down the field. OTAs, okay, you're not tackling, there's no physicality, but he gets open, and the first guy to meet him in the end zone is CeeDee Lamb. And they did it again here yesterday. And the second guy to meet both of them was the quarterback running downfield because they connected on a deep pass. And somebody asked CD about, is that what we're going to see? And he said, those days literally are coming.
The thing that I think they're trying to show this young man is that there's love here. There's a new attitude here. Come be a part of it. And I think if you can just look at Mr. Jones and just understand what he's saying, and he's telling the same thing to number 11, Parsons, come be a part of this. Help build something that can be special. And that's what Coach is trying to do. The head coach, he's just come be a part of this. Come do your best. Come compete and let the chips fall where they may. And the best players will play. Well, the thing I do like about Coach is he was saying a lot of people have to compete, and I agree with him 100%. But when he was saying that he's gonna make George Pickens earn it, we're not gonna play that game. You know what I'm saying? And he showed me I'm not playing that game. I don't know how many times they throw during the season, but I'm a firm believer, y'all. Y'all have always heard me say this, and I'm gonna stick to this. If we're gonna have Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, if we throw 1,000 passes, I need for 750 of them to go to these two guys. And then you get to whoever else you need to get to. I do not care.
You going to give some to the tight end?
No, yeah. I mean, what does the Bengals do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, what does Miami do? What does Philadelphia do? When they brought in Saquon, they didn't say, hey, man, let's rest him.
So are you proposing not running the football at all?
No, I'm just saying if we throw 1,000 passes.
Okay.
Yeah, if we,
you have about 1,100 plays.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to throw.
Hey, let's say we behind 21 points. I hope we never behind 21 points, but I don't know how many plays we run. I'm a lineman. I just block.
I understood your proportions.
But
75% of the passes need to go
to these two
those
guys.
Two. Okay.
I mean, if we can find the tight end, fine. If we can find other guys, fine. But wow, 1,000.
I like it. I like
1,100 plays. Man, I mean, we're not gonna run at all.
All right, I think we're about out of time here. We are past time. We're
sorry about that.
Let's leave you with one last word from CeeDee Lamb. When he was asked about what you thought of him before he got here to now, and he said he's not as crazy as he seemed to be.
Right.
Meaning other
He's
people's
talking about George
impressions.
Pickens.
Yeah.
George Pickens.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not as crazy as he seemed to be.
Well, they're buttering him up.
That's right.
I mean, Pickens went to the podium before Lamb did.
He went first.
Pickens was first. That's right.
You think we get Dak today?
I would think so.
You think we can close out the show because I got somebody over there fidgeting like he got to use the restroom?
He's got shade. God.
You got the break coming up? Yeah. The break is next. Okay, that does it. And as a tribute, as we close it out, a tribute to Everson Walls from Nate Newton. We'll see you next Monday on Mix Shots.
Go Cowboys!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!